The Futurist Mindset with Fifth Avenue Capital. Hello, my name is Tessa and I'm here with Reagan Rodriguez. Reagan is a futurist that teaches stratosphere wealthy legacy families how to become impact investors. And today we're going to talk about a topic that's super timely, and this is being absorbed in the acquisition of material possessions. And this is very timely,
It is, because you can go ahead and tell them we're actually recording this on a Wednesday because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. And so it is timely to Friday when you're going to watch this, because Tessa's going to technically have it live on Friday.
Live.
Yeah. So it's something to think about on the largest shopping day of the year. So yeah, go ahead. I interrupted.
No. I love this. I love that you're going to talk about this, because this is like one of the big problems. We all have more things than we need. A lot more things than we need, don't we?
Yeah. So when you saw that storage unit, think about that. Do we really need more stuff, especially if you have things in storage?
Yeah.
Was there more you were going to introduce? I know I cut you off.
This show today is going to be, it's a little bit of part 2 to a previous show. So we will link the show in the post so that you can go back and check that one out. But I know we're going to continue on and talk more about what you do and a little bit of the underground cafe fund setup.
Well, yes. Well, the link that she mentioned that we did the other week was on how to set up that fund. And as funds then come in to your own fund. So that part seems like it'll be great and easy. And you will go through times that you're thinking maybe a little bit off. So the other thing, I've actually had a few emails today with clients that have a fund that is thriving, that's doing well. However, they'd like it to be doing a little bit better, or they're thinking, gosh, what's going to happen in December? Are we going to have some delays? And yes, that happens in December. So let me do this. I want to go over what does it take to create, grow, and scale a fund, and specifically a cafe fund. So here's what it takes. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. That is called patience, and that is part of the process. So don't email me and ask me if I think there's going to be delays in the month of December, because there will be. So this is the thought process that you need to have when creating and scaling your fund, right? These factors lead into what I kind of describe as flawed thoughts, right? Flawed assumptions that we carry around with us. Now, I'm going to begin with some of the basic and then some that are a little more complex. And these are flawed assumptions that impact the growth of your business, the profitability of your fund, and your ability to scale your fund. So aging is not a choice. In South Florida, it is very popular to say that 60 is the new 40. No, guys, 60 is not the new 40. When you're 60, you are 60. When you are 70, you are 70. That's the way it works, okay? 8 glasses of water a day makes you healthy. There is no proof. There is no evidence or science to back that, but we feel healthier. I do. I drink 8 glasses. So we as individuals, yeah, but I also spend a lot of time going to the bathroom. Next one. We as individuals want the best for ourselves and those we love and care about. But somehow, for some reason, we also believe that others that we don't know and maybe we don't care about, that they should be satisfied with less than we should be satisfied with. Let me repeat that again. We all want the best for ourselves, our families, and those we care about. But somehow we believe that others that we may not know, may not care about, should be satisfied with less than we would be satisfied with. Last one, the 5-second drop. You know, the 5-second drop with regards to food.
Oh, yes. Yes.
That if you drop the food on the floor and you pick it up within 5 seconds, right? No. That's flawed thinking. Okay. So also in the same vein, I'm sorry, Tessa, did you want to add something on that?
I just love that. Yes, no, it's very true. If you're still, I remember people saying that it's only 5-second rule. We can get it off the floor. No, everything's got germs on it. So.
Now, see, if you're listening to this and you've never created a fund, you're not a former client of mine, you're like, does this really apply? You will see that, especially when we're talking about a lot of money and the potential of making money, sometimes in your mind, you'll have this kind of flawed thinking. And so this is going to resonate with you when you're doing this, or some people are like, I know what you're talking about. Do you want to add something to that,
No,
Tessa?
I'm curious. Okay. I'm excited to hear.
Yeah. Okay, so in the same vein, it moves to another level when we talk about flawed assumptions, flawed thoughts, flawed cognition. Have you ever had contact with people who, when faced with an issue, the approach was all or nothing? And the answer is it's either black or it's white, and there's nothing in between. That gets you nowhere. Here's another one, catastrophizing. This is the worst thing that has ever happened in the history of all mankind. Right? Personalization, where every situation is personalized. Okay. Have you ever done that? I have. Right? Tessa can tell you I did that the other day. My attitude was that my problem, my needs, are the focal point of the universe.
Oh.
And they're not. Sometimes if you spend time thinking about other people other than yourself, you would find that all these feelings don't really manifest themselves. Personalization. The other is reaching conclusions on insufficient data. I just got an email from somebody about 30 minutes ago on this. You don't have all the information, yet you form a conclusion. In our industry of project funding, hedge fund management, it's not really liars that you have to worry about. It's people who may not be right, but they're always certain about it. Those are the ones that you have to pay attention to. In other words, they reach conclusions from insufficient data. In other words, they communicate with such certainty as if what they had to say was carved in stone somewhere. That reminded me, I had some disappointments with an oil and gas project back in 2016. And since then, I've been fascinated with the way thoughts influence people's behavior. And some are irrational ideas that are prominent in America, and they impact our behavior. And I have noticed this is only in America. There is an idea that it is a dire necessity for an adult human being to be loved and approved by virtually every person in their community. And people spend their time seeking the love and approval of everybody in their environment. The second is getting upset when things are not going the way we think things should be going. I don't do that, do I, Tessa?
No.
No. Okay, thank you. She's being nice. Another idea that human unhappiness is externally caused, and that people have little or no ability to control their sorrow In other words, that people have little or no ability to control that disturbance. Here's what I do know, and I know what it's like when you're seeking funding and maybe you've made promises to people and you feel like you've got egg on your face. Okay, here's what I do know. Stress is a loss of control. Our stress level goes up the more we feel loss of control. Mm-hmm. And trauma will change us. We will be changed by trauma and the effects will reoccur. So we have to be aware of that. But our goal is to integrate what is going on in our lives, right? Whether it's a pandemic or whether it's another curve that life sends our way. The positive thing is that, at least I've noticed this, that whenever there's a trauma, resilience is often a common response to the trauma, right? I see that with hurricanes, earthquakes. We see people do acts of heroism or what have you. Now, a couple of years ago, we were in the middle of a trauma, kind of now with a lot of wars that are happening. So I don't want to be dismissive with regards to all the things that people are experiencing, whether it's financial crisis, illness. I still think of, remember COVID, people not being with loved ones at the end of life. So I do not want to say that we're going to just wish those things away, okay? What I am saying is, in terms of managing ourselves, we have to look at how we are going to function and how we are going to manage our thoughts so that we can manage our lives. Slow down, not because it's imposed from the outside, but slow down yourself. Even if it means just taking a few minutes to kind of breathe deeply. I was thinking about this, just hit me. I used to live in Brickell, which is kind of the financial district in Miami. And I had a neighbor of mine that he was in that show, Tessa, the Bachelor.
Oh, really?
And he sent me a text one day and he said, "Can you meet me on the roof?" I knew what that meant. Hey, I'm smoking a blunt here. Will you come with? I'm a little discouraged. He said, I just need a friend. I said, okay. So after I was listening to him talk, I think you've probably heard, Tessa, that they have to spend their own money on all the clothes and, I'm not going to get into too much in case he's listening.
It's not a free ride. That's for sure.
So here's what I did ask him. I said, what are several positives about yourself? But they can't have anything to do with money. And he said, what did you say? I can't do that. I said, I want you to simply list things that you're grateful for. And I want you to list positives about yourself that have nothing to do with money. And he had trouble doing that. So let's think about the positives. We find it very easy to deal with the negatives. Give the positives equal time. The other thing I told him is, I can't mention his name. It would be on YouTube, then we'd have to redo this talk. But I told him, be good to yourself in terms of behavior. Look, guys, living in Miami, I found that one of the most underreported forms of neurosis is individuals with their self-hate. How do you hate yourself, you're saying? Look at the behavior that individuals engage in. I am of the opinion, now this is just based on my experience, that one of the most underreported forms of neurosis is self-hate. People don't like themselves, and their behavior reflects it. There are certain behaviors that you do not engage in if you really like yourself, if you value yourself. So what I'm saying is, be kind to yourself. be good to yourself. At some point, you have to stop with the self-blaming, right? Why didn't I save enough money? Why didn't I see this coming? Why wasn't I better prepared for this? Stop with the self-blaming and look at where do we go from here. One thing I recommend to do away with is ruminating, right? That's where you spend your whole time worrying about and thinking about what happened in the past. As you know, Tessa, now work in alternative energy. But when I tried going after the big oil fracking deals in North Dakota, I had to recommend to those clients of mine, and me included, to do what I refer to as thought blocking. And it requires practice and persistence. I had this client that would say, all I keep thinking about is that well that dried up, or that well that was taken by the bank. And I'd tell them to set 30 minutes, set aside maybe 30 minutes in the morning, or 30 minutes in the evening or afternoon, whatever. However you want to do it, right? But what you're going to do is you're going to spend time dissecting and thinking about this. But guess what? When 30 minutes is up, that's it. I'm dealing with other things. And then in the afternoon, if you're so inclined, you're just itching, you got another 30 minutes, go in, ruminate about this again. But when the 30 minutes is up, that's it. And then related to this is you have to be willing to face your fears, right? What is it that you're afraid of? This friend of mine that I'm kind of mentoring referred me to, or introduced me to somebody else that was also on The Bachelor. And he was telling me that he works out 15 to 20 hours a week. And he was introducing me as, hey, this is my mentor. You'd enjoy meeting him. So I was really blunt with this guy. I said, what the hell do you do that for? I said, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of dying? There's no truth to that. We're always hearing about well-known athletes that are in very good health and they die at an early age. So face your fears. And in doing so, you come to a point where you have to decide what's your purpose and what matters. And if you're listening to this, I don't think that working out 15 to 20 hours a week is your purpose. So what is your purpose? What's your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you engaged with that? How am I going to feel? What am I going to do? I call this counterfactual thinking. And that's the notion that whatever we are facing could always be worse. There could always be something worse. Whatever it is that we are confronting, it could be worse. So how are we going to maintain our positive thoughts? When you look around, what you'll find is that individuals who are absorbed, oh, this is very appropriate, of the storage unit that you'll see the image of and why we picked the storage unit. Here's what I've noticed, that individuals who are absorbed in the acquisition of material possessions basically serves the purpose of compensating for deep-seated underlying personality deficits. I'm going to say that again. The time when people are most preoccupied with the acquisition of material possessions is the time when they tend to feel less worthy, less valued, and less loved.
Because the objects are fulfilling something in their life that they're missing. They're seeking approval, they're seeking love, and they find it in an object.
That's right. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's right. Yeah. So when we talk about management of ourselves, this is one way of addressing that component. It's by managing our faults. we carry the equipment with us. It's understanding how to manage it. It's practice, because nobody focuses on this in school. Nobody teaches this in school. We have to just kind of pick it up at some point along the way. But being able to manage our thoughts, that's our hope. That's our hope for the future, for moving forward. Because if you can't manage your thoughts, you can't manage your life. And if you can't manage your life, then there's not really much there to you, is there? So let me close by saying, after today, we're not going to just think about things, but instead think about things in a different way from what you may have been done before.
Well, thank you, Reagan. You've given us a lot to think about, a lot. So wonderful. Well, everyone, thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate you watching the show, being here in the chat with us. And we just, if you love the content, hit subscribe so that you get notifications when we go live, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you so much.
Before we close,
yes.
I was going to say, you know how I like sweets. And, the other day when I'm like, I was going to send you something, I was going to finish doing an email on something. And I said, I got distracted. I want to show you these things that I get when I tell you about these chocolate. This is these chocolate, and they have chocolate inside them.
Cakes.
So you put these in the microwave, okay, for like 20 seconds, 30, and they start bubbling the chocolate out. You just bite into it, and it's just chocolate. I mean, it's just great. If you put some ice cream on there, even better. So
I love it.
I'm already going in on that today. All right, I don't have to wake up early tomorrow. I'm eating all of the 4 that come in this package.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
And they go well with almond butter. So you take a bite of that, and then the almond butter, wash it down with some almond milk. It's phenomenal, or actually phenomenal. That's how good it is.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. I don't know how I know you have a sweet tooth and you love the desserts. So,
and all food.
Thanksgiving is always, we're recovering. Today would be the day you're recovering from all that Thanksgiving food and getting back on track. So I love what you said, though. I just wanted to reiterate this before we take off. And that's just, you are in control of what you think and what you do. And so I really challenge you. And I know Reagan has challenged you also this weekend, this holiday weekend where people are buying like crazy. Like, think about some things before you buy the things. Think about what you're really trying to get. And is there something else you can be doing instead of buying something and taking up more storage space, right? So do something for yourself that makes you smile. That's my tip. And I know Reagan always makes me smile when I'm on these. So thank you, Reagan, for all the advice and tips. And I know if you have, like I said, part 1's in the post. So if you want to find out more about what Reagan does and what he does with Fifth Avenue Capital and his projects, you can find it all on the website that's linked below. All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you all. Bye.